Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of my wonderful and beautiful little subscribers out there. And how I love you all so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delicious. And that life is treating you most deliciously wherever you are in the world, sir. Three, two, one, my juice, little lights. Thank you, little lights. You're delicious and bright, yeah. So there's still half and half at the moment because, I've only got some lights working, my delicious little babies now then. Anyway, so it's now just gone 10 p.m. In the evening in our old England, my delicious little babies, and it's going rather chilly, although it has been milder today, just going over the dots. And well, that's the weather forecast. There's really not much to say. It's not raining, and it's rather still out there. Okay, we've had the little, well, I've only had one personally, my delicious little babies, because for myself, I do not celebrate Halloween. If anybody is celebrating it, well, you know, uh, please have a super duper time, whatever you're doing. For myself, when my little daughters were little, my little wee bands, of course, I used to celebrate. You know what I mean? Well, not celebrate. I used to, like put pumpkins out. Cut out the pumpkins and everything like that. Now then, but of course, it's been many years. There we are since I have not. Put any pumpkins out at all. I do feel that pumpkins, they look very pretty, because you can get all different colours and it looks very beautiful and decorative. However, what is behind it is, there we are, rather satanic. So in our old England tonight, I'm so sorry to have to say this. I'm not here to be the bearer of bad news, but heaven forbid who's going to be sacrificed. My delicious little babies, there we are, shoulders go up there. Now then, my delicious little babies, but if you are celebrating, please have a super duper time. I'm not going to say, because, well, simply, I just do not want it to come out of my mouth. Okay, my delicious little babies. Now then, so I have, and I hope that Laugh Sorry is treating you deliciously well. Now, I've got my cards out tonight, my delicious little babies, being the 31st of the 10th, 2025, my delicious little babies. So, I'll do a few readings. So, I'll bang a few readings out, my delicious little babies. There we are. And, that'll be that really. So who looks at them, because I haven't done any for quite a long time. And who doesn't, well, there's nothing I can do about it, with how, there we are, YouTube, there we are, rocks and rolls things now. Okay, my little baby. So where shall I go first? Where do I begin? Okay, Shirley Bassey. Well, wasn't it? Okay, my delicious little babies now then. So I've got quite a bit actually that I want to talk about. But let's go on to, no, let me get the video out the way first. The videos. Sorry, my delicious little babies. And then I can get on to what I want to say, okay? Because I regard this, there we are, very interesting, okay? My delicious little babies, okay? And one piece, there we are, of utmost importance. Okay, my delicious little babies. So everything's interesting, with whatever I say. But anyway, you get the gist. My delicious little babies, please and thank you. So the first one, no, because I need to go back to that. So the first one, my delicious little babies. This was uploaded 2 hours ago, okay, my delicious little babies, and this uploader is now, oh bless her, she's now up to, with anybody not in that way, she's now up to 1.35 thousand subscribers, my delicious little babies, and her channel is called Capital W. This is all together, no spaces. This is the second time that I have advertised that. It's our lovely Debbie Evans. Okay, my little babies. And so capital W, okay, this is a channel, word, then capital R, in, capital E, edge, lowercase, ways, then capital M, matron. So it should read, once tapped into the old space bar on YouTube, Martin Babies, okay, word in edgeways, matron. Okay, Martin Babies. This video is just over 6 minutes long. Okay, now what Debbie does is she likes to do 7 stories in 7 minutes. Well, I mean, really, they're not stories; they are a real laugh, which our lovely dear Debbie does know. But of course, when you're doing videos, you know what I mean. But because I suppose, with anything really, it's like, what's that just came into my noddle? Do you ever remember that? Is it a film, or was it the music? Never ending story. Oh, that. Anyway, Martin, but this is very serious, and I'm so super duper pleased that our beautiful dear little Debbie's, there we are, that her numbers are rising. I'm just so very, very, to my heart, I'm just so super duper happy about this, okay? They're now very sadly going after, for the dear families who can have our beautiful little babies now. Yeah, they're going back after them again, aren't they, Martin? Babies. So from when they're born, this is one of the realities of on our dear little Debbie's channel. So they're talking about, they need to take something, to check for something, for hereditary, okay? The fact of the matter is, Martin babies, there we are. We know where this is going, okay? I have personally spoke to dear mothers over time, and to be honest with you, it's like, well, for who I've spoken to, okay? It's like there's one part of them, where they want baby to be safe, which I understand that. But there's the other part where they're frightened to say anything to the authorities, like these in white coats or in the fancy dress, mad, delicious little babies, doctors, nurses, consultants, whatever they are. Whatever they want to dress up to be. There we are, mad, delicious little babies, okay? And there's part of it where they're frightened, okay? Because I suppose they feel like they're being pressured. They've never said that to myself, but the fact of the matter is that that's the way, there we are, it came across to myself. But at the same time, they want to protect their little baby because, of course, you got a new mum, a new mammy, mama bear, mother. And, she clearly wants to keep a little baby safe, warm, comfortable, and keep a little baby close to her heart. Well, for most mothers, I mean, clearly there are some mothers who very sadly experience a lot of difficulty doing that. But I'm talking about the majority where, where it's like, for some dear mums, they will not even let anybody hold the baby. You know what I mean? I've met some of those in my time. And that's a little bit, you know what I mean? I understand that it's protection, but at the same time, there could be something, there we are, else underlining why they do not want anybody to come near the baby. Anyway, that's a different matter entirely. I was just drifting off for some reason. I don't know why. Anyway, well, I'm pretty sure I do know why. But anyway, the point of the matter is, Martin babies, the way that when I heard it this evening, bless our lovely dear Debbie for all of there we are, the hard work that she does by researching. There we are, and she researches an awful lot more delicious babies can. Well, bless your beautiful dear little soul, dear little Debbie. Please keep going, and please let your numbers, there we are, rise for the correct reasons. Do you understand what I mean, my delicious babies can? Because she's so a beautiful dear little soul, okay, and she's an ex-nurse, okay. Me, myself, doctors and nurses do not seem to get along, okay, but there are the odd few that, I would say yes, I sit in a room, sit down, have a cup of tea or coffee, have a chillax and a chinwag. Do you understand what I mean? And dear Debbie is one of these dear ladies. And not only that, bless her, but she actually does reply to her, there we are, to her messages. How beautiful is that? You do not see that very often, Mads Lushlik babies. No, you do not. Okay. So bless your beautiful dear little heart, Debbie. And there we are. And let it continue, you know, because you're doing a wonderful job. And I will say that on the camera, okay? But the fact of the matter is, yeah, I feel that this is an abuse of little babies, Mad Delicious. There we are, little babies. That's what I feel that it is. Anyway, please take a listen to our lovely Debbie's channel, Mad Delicious Little Babies. It's the second time now that I've advertised her, okay? And well worth it, okay? She's a wonderful, dear woman, lady, okay? And I have, there we are, a lot of respect when I listen to this dear lady. Now then, Martin baby. So, got the next one now. So, this one here, Martin baby. So I'm sort of going there, then I'm missing there, then I'm going to there, then I go back to there again. So next one, Martin babies. I haven't chosen a particular video. Now, what started to come up on my channel happened to be this uploader. So this uploader, they're all on YouTube, by the way, Martin babies again, happens to have 389,000 subscribers, Martin Little Babies, okay? And it is called, it's all in lowercase. So there's no capitals here. There's spaces, but not capitals. Change, space, cleaning, space, services. Okay, Martin Little Babies. Now, that is the uploader's channel. So I'll just repeat that again for you, Martin Little Babies. Change, space, cleaning, space, services. Okay, Martin Little Babies. Now, the videos are usually between, I'd say, 40 and 50, there we are, minutes, Martin Little Babies. Now, what's really interesting, I was watching, and it's really interesting, isn't it, Martin Little Babies, because when you mention something, like I put up a short video of a little gun with a rug with a plastic, okay? And then, you know, give it time. There we are, Martin babies, but not a long time. Then sort of like rug videos start to come up to you. So what I mean, Martin babies, yes. Anyway, we've been talking about this long time, forever. Well, what was really interesting on one of the videos, because they keep bringing in these dirty, filthy carpets, rugs. Sorry, Martin, you know, these large rugs. Okay, Martin babies, but they always seem to be, there we are, dirty and filthy. Well, I've never seen myself personally dirty and filthy rugs like that, Martin babies. I mean, I've seen a carpet in my time from time to time where I thought, oh, that needs a bit of a clean, you know what I mean? Okay. But I've never seen anything like this, my delicious little babies. But what was really interesting in one of the comments, because I only ever look at just a few comments, not very many at all. And in one, somebody asked, there we are, a very sensible question. And the question was, you know, I wish that you could tell us where these carpets, you know, these rugs were coming from. Sorry. Stumbled there, yeah. What I'm wanting you to look at, my delicious little babies, you know, just doing a bit of a comma here. What I'm wanting you to really, should anybody have any form of an interest, to please and thank you pay attention to, is the patterns on the rugs. Now, on the one that I was watching, it happened to be, was it a few days ago, the other evening? It was paisley. Now, I remember decades ago, I actually had a paisley blouse, my delicious little baby's case. So it like had midnight blue, that was the colour behind it. And then you had different paisley shapes. So at that time, there we are, it was in fashion, my delicious little baby's case. And I used to just either wear it with a long a long pencil skirt, and maybe a pair of flats loafer shoes, do you know what I mean? Or I'd wear it with a pair of trousers because I was working in admin and everything, marvelous little babies, and you know. So I always remember that. There we are. I always remember that top that I bought all them decades ago, marvelous little babies. Anyway, but it's very interesting. But when you see how it comes up, because you never know what's under the dirt. Okay, marvelous babies, but it does take some work. There we are to clean it up. You know what I mean, marvelous babies, which brings me to the next video that I'd like to advertise, marvelous little babies. This one here is right. So I just need to tick that off. Okay, so this one here, marvelous little babies. I've got such a lot of writing, honestly, marvelous babies. Look at this. It's all the writing I've got. Look at this. Anyway, marvelous little babies, because I still like to write, you know what I mean? This uploader happens to have 105,000 subscribers, my delicious little babies, and these are all in capitals. So in the order spacebar in old YouTube, my delicious little babies, W for Walter, K for Keith, R for Reynold, and N for Nala. Okay, my delicious babies. So then it's space, capital N, news, space, and then the number 2. Okay, my delicious babies. So I was actually looking for other videos and I came across, there we are, this one, my delicious babies. This one just never automatically came up on my feed, unlike some others. So I'll just repeat that again for you, shall I? WKRN, all in capitals, space, capital N, news, space, the number 2. And the video should read, man arrested. It's only a few minutes long, this video, my delicious little babies, okay? Man arrested after Facebook comment, Facebook again, my delicious little babies, quoting President, I call him Trouble Trump, September the 21st, 2025. That's when the man was, your man there was arrested, my delicious babies. Now, he happens to be a retired law enforcement officer. Okay, my delicious babies. Now, because he'd made a comment to do with Mr. Trouble Trump, he found himself being handcuffed and taken to the station, my delicious babies. This is in a barn in the USA. So, what's the reason for me mentioning this, my delicious little babies? Well, we've been hearing a lot, haven't we? I'm slightly stumbling there, not changing my video. You see, the fact of the matter is, my delicious little babies, is that I believe, I repeat it again, I believe that everybody should be entitled, there we are, to have a freedom of speech. Now, if somebody, for whatever reason, does not like the government, well, they clearly do not like the government for a reason, do they? Or maybe they do not like somebody in power. Well, they do not like them in power because, there we are, clearly they're not being correct to their populations. There we are, my delicious little babies, do you see what I mean? Should this be a reason to lock the poor man up? No. Anyway, my delicious babies, so that's another video to take a look at, please and thank you. Once again, should anybody happen to have any form of an interest. Now, the next one, my delicious babies, well, this uploader is called capital E, okay, my delicious babies, Explore, space, capital G, Greece, space, capital W, with, space, capital U, us. Okay, my delicious babies, so it should read, once tapped into the old space bar in YouTube, Explore Greece with us. That's the uploader. This uploader happens to have 8.64 thousand subscribers. This video is, I think, just over 11 minutes long, so it's not a long video, my delicious little babies. And the video should read, I think it was only a couple of days ago or 3 days ago when this was uploaded on YouTube. 11 ways Brits can skip the new EU border system, UK, Europe, EES loopholes. Okay, my delicious little baby, so I'm just going to repeat that again for you, shall I? 11 ways Brits can skip the new EU border system, UK, Europe, EES loopholes. Okay, my delicious little baby, so this here is to do with travel. Okay, my delicious little baby, so I just thought I'd mention that. So for anybody who's interested in listening, he also discusses different countries like Iceland and things like this. And he also talks about dual citizens, you know, like to do with passports, you know, and everything like that now. And anyway, crams it all in over 11 minutes, my delicious little babies. Now then, the next one, my delicious little babies, happens to have 31,000 subscribers, my delicious little babies, and it is called Capital P Philosophical, gosh, that's a large word. I think I've swallowed a dictionary, my delicious little babies. Space, capital V, vision. Okay, my delicious little babies. So, in your space bar, my delicious little babies, should anybody happen to have any form of an interest, should read philosophical. I'm getting a bit right. Philosophical. Sorry, Marge, babies. I got there in the end. Philosophical. Sorry about that, Marge, babies. Space vision. And the video should read, yeah, this is just over 22 minutes long, my delicious little babies. I'm about a quarter of the way through and I'm going to listen to the rest of it because the reason why is because there we are. It is ding, ding, dong, dong, common sense, you say. Okay? Why wisdom doesn't go viral. Now, this may very well be AI, you know, with the voice behind it, because I've heard this voice on other videos, okay, so it's probably AI. But again, I'm advertising this, if it is AI, there we are, in a positive way. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? So I'll repeat this again. Why wisdom doesn't go viral and ignorance rules the world. Okay, my delicious little babies, and it says next to it, Nihat Zerj. I'll spell that for you, my delicious little babies. I don't know how you're pronouncing that. NRETZSCHE. Okay, my delicious little babies, so I'll just repeat it again. Why wisdom doesn't go viral and ignorance rules the world. Yes, my delicious babies. So when I was listening so far, I thought, yes, there we are. Absolutely. I totally agree. You see, this is what's happened, okay? It's like they sort of like to treat us like we're flipping. Do you ever remember, beautiful, you know, when I was little, Dumbo, you know, the elephant? Anyway, elephants are not dumb. So when you look back in history, you look back over decades, well, why do they say Dumbo the elephant? Because elephants are not dumb. They're far from it. There we are. They're very beautiful animals. Okay, my delicious babies, but I was saying it as in, well, I'm just done saying it, aren't I? Our beautiful dear elephants, sorry, our beautiful dear, never need to stumble there, our beautiful dear animals, well, they're not dumb. They're far from it. The fact of the matter is, we ourselves, we too, are not dumb. Okay, my delicious little babies. It's just so sad that for some, they tend to follow the leaders. There we are. Do you know what I mean? My delicious little babies. And of course, others, you know, choose, there we are, to use their critical thought and their noddles. My delicious little babies. Now then, let's go back here. So what do I have, my delicious little babies? I'm going to show you. So I have here, here's what I made earlier. I made this actually yesterday evening. And this is, it might look like slop, but it's not. This is potato salad, whole grain mustard. So I'm just going to have some, please and thank you. Banging. Okay, my delicious little babies, I'll explain to you how to make it. One more mouthful. Doesn't mean my delicious little babies. Now, how I made that, you can do it a number of ways, okay? And sometimes if you wanted to, that's just came into my noddle. Sometimes if you want to even do it with a bit of meat or, it could be bacon or something like that. But how I did that was 2 heaped spoonfuls of salad cream, half, well actually, I'm going to tell you, if you're using ground, which is already crushed, black pepper, I'd use just under half a teaspoon. But if you're using the, you probably just need to do that a few times. Okay, my delicious little babies. I usually put rather a lot of salt in, so just a tiny heat, only a tiny, my delicious little babies, of a teaspoon of salt, 3 tablespoons, heaped tablespoons of mayonnaise, mayo, and then I have used a teaspoon and a half of whole grain mustard. Now, the original recipe is Dijon mustard. Okay, my delicious little babies. But you can use any mustard you want. You can use Coleman's mustard, yellow mustard. I've used whole grain on this occasion. You can use Dijon mustard. It's entirely up to yourselves, my delicious little babies. If you wanted to do the Dijon mustard way and not the whole grain, you repeat the process. So the salt, the pepper, salad cream, mayo, and then you could put in some fresh parsley. Okay, my delicious babies, and of course, that comes up very well. I'm not a massive lover of parsley, my delicious babies. Okay, so if it's sprinkled on some soup or something, then I suppose I'll eat it. But I love a lot of vegetables. I love a lot of fruit. But I just prefer my my spud salad, my potato salad, the way I do it. So sometimes I do it Dijon, other times whole grain. Regardless of which, it tastes delish. I do not do it with a Coleman's mustard because I prefer that if I have it like with mashed potato made with cream, butter, milk, salt, pepper, and spring onion. Sometimes you can mix some, you grate up some good quality cheese, you mix that and you mix it all together, you know what I mean? So sometimes I like to have that with a bit of a Coleman's mustard. You're probably thinking I've got really funny, strange eating habits, but not really. If my body tells me, there we are, that I need something, there we are, then I'm going to eat it. So if I've got a craving, and I had a craving to make potato salad, there we are. So if I get a craving for it, there we are, then that's what I do. Okay, my delicious babies, it's what your body, there we are, is telling you to eat. Which brings me to saying, my delicious little babies, so I'm going to read something out to you, okay? You're probably thinking, what's this crazy woman going on about? Well, I'm by far from crazy, okay? One's, before I begin, need to keep looking back to the church behind them now, isn't it? And I could say that for many different channels, you could say it for mankind. Stop looking at the damn church, because the damn church isn't going to do you no help. Okay? And I'm just done saying it. When ones understand that, we're all on the same song sheet. So I'm going to read this out now to you, my delicious little babies. It is as follows. The origins of mustard. Very important to listen. Please and thank you, my delicious little babies. The history of mustard stretches back over 5,000 years ago. Me with thousands of years, I don't know. I'm not too sure about that either, my delicious little babies. Anyway, it was something that I quack goed, my delicious little babies, an alternative search engine. And this is what it came up with. So I thought, okay, there we are. You gotta roll with it. You gotta take your time. You see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Yes. To the ancient Egyptians. Yes, my delicious little babies. Interesting, isn't it? I've been to Egypt twice because my spirit, there we are, wanting me, there we are, to go there. I had a pull to go. And for myself personally, I kept away from the old town, but it's just the way that they, not being nasty from what somebody told me, the way that they, let's just say, treat our beautiful little chickens and, little chickies, and the way that they, very sadly, and the little babies laugh. It's something that I know would stick in my noddle. So I didn't want to go to the old town, okay, because I know that I'd be pulling the little chickie out of the hands of whoever's doing it, okay, my delicious little babies. So anyway, but I felt spiritually wise, I felt really super duper comfortable there. And I've spoken to many others who haven't been to Egypt, and they've all said the same thing. Now, why would they say it? So I've always wanted to go to Egypt. I wish I could have gone to Egypt. Now, why is this happening? This has been happening, there we are, for years, long time. Okay, my delicious babies. Now then, I will proceed. Ancient Egyptians used mustard as a medicinal. Gosh, I managed to pronounce that correctly, my delicious babies. So it's medicine, remedy, while the Greeks and Romans prized it for its flavour and preservative qualities. The Roman Empire was particularly, just keep going over dots, fond of mustard, even using it as a form, there we are, of currency in some regions, my delicious little babies. Mustard comes from the seeds of plants in, what's that say, Brassica, okay, my delicious little babies family. These seeds, sort of trying to read my own writing, my delicious babies. These seeds are ground up and mixed with liquids like water, vinegar, or wine. Red wine, it's up to you. Right, so that's the story of the mustard. I mean, there's obviously a lot more to it, but I just take out ham in pieces, bits and pieces. Vinegar, so we switch over to vinegar now, dates back, again, to 5,000 BCE. Again, I repeat again, I'm a little bit dubious of this business with 5,000, 2,000, 20,000, 50,000 years. I always have been mad to little babies. Fact of the matter is, seems to me that somebody's twiggling the numbers, sorry, mad to little babies, and then they're coming up with these figures. In ancient Babylon, so yeah, that's where vinegar apparently originates from. If you leave it to ferment, it goes sour. Okay, mad little baby, so I just thought I'll mention that. Now then, finally, what I want to talk about, okay, then I'm going to be over and out. So, because I only want a one-page website for my tarot reading, my house cleansings, and my angel card readings, and my angelic healings. And because I always remember when I was at college many, many, many years ago, and I was asked to write something down, and all I did was just do half a page of an A4 sheet of paper, land. The tutor seemed to be most fascinated. Said it's amazing what you can just put just in half a page of an A4, sorry, getting a bit mixed up with my words this evening, aren't I? Baby's not changing my video. Seemed very fascinated that I could fit so much in a half of a sheet of A4 paper. Babies. And I was asked the reason why. So the teacher was, the tutor was rather fascinated. I said, well, how do you do that? And I said, so, well, all I do is, I think I was about 18 at the time. I said, all I do is just take out in my head what I need. There we are. That's what I said. And the tutor was really, there we are, really super duper, there we are, pleased with this. And the tutor actually said to myself, said, you know something? I wish that other students would do the same. I said, well, maybe you need to, have a word to them. Because the way that the tutor read it was, you've said so much in such a short space of time. But there we are, I've got to the point. Do you see what I mean, Martin? Babies, yes? So what's the method to what I've just said? Yes, we can all write a novel. I'm very good at that as well. But when I need to keep it, there we are, short and sweet. I can also do that as well. Martin Babies, just depends on what's going on. You know what I mean? Martin Babies, yes. So, whilst I've got to sort my website out, there is a beautiful dear lady who's going to be doing this for me. Okay, Martin Babies, and there we are. And yes, and it will be, there we are, done in a very short time. And bless her, beautiful, dear little soul. What a beautiful dear lady she is. With anybody not in that way, not in that way. I mean it as a beautiful dear soul for even taking the time to offer to help me. So for that, I forever love her always. Okay, Martin, little babies. So, what is it with myself? See, what I want to do, I do want to go back into the funeral arranging, Martin, little babies. I'm going to keep this as short as possible. All I wrote down is what I need to write down. Okay, my little babies. So I needed to write it down. I wrote it down, and this is what I'm delivering to yourselves, my little babies. Now, the problem that I'm having, you see, if you have family-run funeral directors, they usually, well, it's in the name, it's a family funeral directors, which means that usually they do not want outsiders, because that's just, there we are, fact of the matter, meaning somebody who's not family. The only other ones that seem to be, from what I can see, rocking and rolling with what they're doing, there we are, Martin's babies, are these corporate ones, which I do find quite disturbing. When I looked at yesterday evening, we're back to the co-op again, Martin's babies. So for anybody in England, Martin's babies, I'm not sure about abroad, but anyway, I'm pretty sure you'd be able to get it up anyway. Or if you know somebody who's in England, they'll just get the app up, and then they'll be able to show you. Okay, Martin's babies, if you're out of England, Martin's babies. So I don't know how all that rocks and rolls anyway. You know, I'm not all flipping technical and all that bloody business. Anyway, so I don't know how it would be, you know, because clearly, indeed, I should imagine it's England. I'm not sure about if it's anywhere else in another country. I'm genuinely just not sure about that. So I typed in funeral arranger. Okay, Martin's babies. And the only ones that were coming up, again, is the co-op. There's a co-op. I think there was another one, that wasn't the co-op. But anyway, I hadn't looked. Anyway, that's miles away, so that's no good to myself. Do you understand what I mean? Martin's babies. Now, with this co-op, and this is in Birmingham, so that's all you'd have to do. Go on to Indeed, which is the Indeed app. I try to use as few apps as I can. And then all you have to do is type in what job you're looking for. Funeral arranger, spaces, funeral space arranger. You can put the mileage, whether it's 15 miles away or 10 miles away, like that. It's just like a little bar, then you just that. And then it comes up with, you know, something, you know, if you know, in this case, it's Birmingham in Brummyland. Now, I've just taken out bits and pieces from this job advert, Martin's babies, okay? So what have I got? I've just wrote down what I needed to write down, but you need to please look on it and read through it yourself. Now, this is £13 and 6 pence an hour, Martin's babies, okay? So they do not call it a funeral arranger anymore. What do they call it? A funeral advisor. So it's all changed, Martin's babies. I'm going back years ago from when I used to do funeral arranging. Anyway, but again, that was a corporation one. Martin's babies, you see what I mean? And it's like you've got to hit targets. It's putrid what's going on. Anyway, I'm going to read this out to you, Martin's babies, and then I'm going to leave my video, okay? So, paid time for volunteering. I put 2 question marks there, Martin's babies. We encourage our colleagues to spend 3 days per year taking part in volunteering, fully paid for by us. Okay, Martin's baby. So I'm just going to repeat this again for you. Paid time for volunteering. We encourage our colleagues to spend 3 days per year taking part in volunteering, fully paid for by us. Right, so where's the part where it's fully paid for? There we are, by us. But if you're volunteering, it means you're doing 3 days' work a year. So correct me if I'm wrong. I may be a bit thick here. I do not believe I am. So they're wanting you to do I presume once a year, 3 days free without getting paid, but it's on them. How does that work, Martish babies? Am I a little bit brain dead here? I do not feel that I am. Let's go on to the next part. There seems to be an awful lot to do with somebody's well-being. Well-being here, well-being there, well-being effing everywhere. Annual health check kits. Yeah, you get an annual health check kit. This is where they prick your finger. So again, needles. You know what I mean, Martish babies? Because they want to check for your well-being, you know, because it's all about your well-being. The other part, which is interesting, give as you earn. This is, I'll repeat again, this is a cooperative funeral services in England, babies. That was the same cooperative that I remember looking at, was over a couple of decades ago now, where that actually dear family went in to go and to Chapel Arrest to go and see their dear loved one who'd very sadly passed, you know, because you can have that option to do that, you know. Some choose not to because it's too upsetting. They like to remember their dear loved one the way that they were. For others, they want to come and pay their respects, and they feel more comfort, you know, just being next to their dear loved one in their coffin. But yeah, give as you earn. So this is to give as you earn to charities, babies. The next one, this is called salary sacrifice. And it's now sacrifice. Just a simple word. It's two hearts living in two separate worlds. This is clearly, there we are to myself, ding, ding, dong, dong, what's going on here, you know what I mean? Because you got the corporate, then you got normal mankind. You follow me? Just babies, yes. So this is called a salary sacrifice scheme. Electric vehicle scheme, my delicious babies. So that basically means that you can purchase an electrical vehicle. Okay, my delicious babies, through the company. This is just effing unreal, man. The more and more you were reading it, it's just been unreal. You know, you follow me, my delicious babies, guy. And you think to yourself, is this for real? This is for effing real, isn't it? According to these, do you say? And it's changed a lot since the last time I exposed them, you know, that one of the benefits of working for the company is the flu jibby jab. Do you see what I mean? That got removed. There we are, hours later. Mars baby. So somebody's listening, aren't they? Yes. So next one is called Holiday Bar. Listen to this, Mars babies. Holiday Bar. Colleagues, yes, colleagues, can buy up to a week extra of annual leave each year. Honestly, it gets worse as it goes along. Okay, but so let me repeat this again for you, Martin. Holiday Bar. Okay. Colleagues can buy up to a week extra of annual leave each year. So you've got to pay the company that you're working for, Martin. If you want an extra week, you've got to pay for that privilege. Martin, babies, do you see what I'm saying? And these are effing real. Well, clearly, there we are. They seem to be, you know what I mean? It's all there for anyone to read. Do you know what I mean? It's just unreal. So the next one, Margish babies, this is called News. So it's NOUS. Okay, Margish babies, or NORS, whatever it's bloody called. I think it's a NORS. Anyway. Smart assistant smart. Remember, there's nothing smart about anything, Madlish Babies guy. Smart assistant that can save you money and time on managing your household bills. Okay, Madlish Babies, I'm just going to repeat this again for you, shall I? News smart assistant that can save you money and time on managing your household bills. Who are we? Yeah, who are you? We all know, there we are, who you are, don't we? The cooperative funeral services, yeah, because you got chains of co-op shops that are shutting down now. But what they're doing is they've been shipping long time to the co-op. They've been sending their food, the co-op, to smaller shops like Nisa, like different, there we are, shops like this now then. Do you follow me? Madlish Babies, yes. Oh, it's not a bad thing. I mean, the co-op food, you know, it's all right, like, you know what I mean? But it's the way there we are that they've done it. Because, you know, they're sort of downsizing, aren't they, Madlish Babies, can? Who are we? We're Central Co-op. Central Co-op. Go, Co-op, go. Okay, Madlish Babies? A member, please listen to this very carefully now, Madlish Babies. A member, hyphen, lots of hyphens as well, Madlish Babies, as you'll read. Owned, they're owned. And member hyphen led. Look at that. Does that sound a bit like follow the leaders, leaders, leaders? Does it sound that way to you, Madlish Babies? It sounds that way to myself. Cooperative society, yes, it's a society. So I'll just repeat that again for you, shall I? Who are we? We're Central Co-op. Well, it's a co-op. Operations, operative operations, you see what I mean? They're co-opting. You see what I mean? Madlish Babies. A member hyphen owned and member hyphen led co-hyphen operative society. They like hyphens, don't they, Madlish Babies? This bit here as well, Madlish Babies. Cycle to work scheme. Option to purchase your bicycle. Bicycle, bicycle. I want to ride my bicycle. I want to ride my bike. Oh, he was wonderful, wasn't he? Not in that way, not in that way. Our lovely Freddie Mercury, you know what I mean? Bless him. Bless you, dear Freddie. I'm sure you can see everything what's going on, can't you, my little lovely? Yeah, to purchase your bicycle and accessories through salary sacrifice. So they like that word, sacrifice, don't they? So you've got to sacrifice this, you've got to sacrifice that. So I'm just going to finish with this. The money co-hyphen op. Hyphen free. Gosh, you got two hyphens there, Madlish Babies, you know what I mean? They're really going for it, you know what I mean? Access to support, listen to this, Madlish Babies, all aspects of your financial well-being. There's a lot of well-being in here, Madlish Babies, you know what I mean? Because they are concentrating on your well-being, such as savings and loans at competitive rates. So I'm just going to repeat that once again, Madlish Babies. The money co-hyphen op hyphen free access to support all aspects of your financial well-being, because it's all about you, Madlish Babies, you know. You're so, there we are, super duper important to them. Such as savings and loans at competitive rates. So that's the end of my video, Madlish Babies. They've even got life insurance if you pass away while working for them, Madlish Babies. Remember the batteries, you know what I mean? Please and thank you. So here's the question. will I be applying for the job now? Anybody who I feel who does apply for that job clearly has not read correctly what it all means. It seems to myself that even though you're working for the company, they want you ka-ching, ching, ching, you change. But at the same time, they want to abracadabra, I want to reach out and grab you. So they want your labour, your loving ability to help others, but then they want to pocket the change, which is your wages. There we are, Martha's baby. So I'll just put it very simply, simple things. Okay, Martha's baby. So wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies. Sending peace, love, harmony, and bright blessings to each and every one of you. And may your beautiful little society, your beautiful little families, may you all be fully protected. And there was one other thing, yeah, that was a couple of decades ago, I'm pretty sure. The co-op actually buried, bless that dear little soul and dear little family, buried the wrong dear loved one somewhere else as a mix-up. Okay, my babies, so if anybody does want to, not being morbid, if anybody does want to choose a funeral home for their dear loved ones, my strong suggestion would be maybe to avoid the cooperative. And if anybody wants to be a funeral arranger out there, I would too. There we are. Strongly suggest avoiding it, because let me tell you, for what you're working for, once you paid it all out, because it conveniently comes out your bank, you know what I mean? They're very happy to grab, a bit like this digital shit. Okay, my babies. You'll find that your actual wages won't really be much wages at all. But when ones apply for the job just to finish, when they apply for the job, well, they're applying for a job. They're not wanting all this shit, are they, my babies? Jesus, me. But they've really changed the wording to somebody in the corporate world, my babies. There we are. Seems to be rather in one part they're bothered, but in the other part it's there, bang, 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 in your birth race for you to see. So am I desperate enough to go and apply for that job now? Okay, my babies. So until my next video, thank you so very much for listening. Thank you so very much for any views, for any likes, and for the occasional comments. Yeah, somebody did comment on my video. Was it yesterday where I did what was it? Yeah, it's got to be yesterday. It's only a day ago, wasn't it? My latest video, my just slick babies with our dear little Emanuela and our dear Max Spears. And somebody put a thank you in a comment. Of course, I put, oh, thank you, you're welcome. Because I very rarely ever receive a comment, Martish Babies Cat. What's interesting, when I clicked on their, their channel, to see what subscribers, I've just got a habit of doing that. There we are, Martish Babies, do you know what I mean? Supposed to be 8 videos, but it was only 4. What's it to do with Scotland, to do with UFOs or something like that? Anyway, my little babies, so you just take care now. I know it probably sounds like I'm talking in riddles. No, I'm not. I'm being very, very plain with what I'm saying. Let's see how they twiggle the words now after somebody. There we are listening to my video, my little babies, you know what I mean? Do you see what I mean? When ones actually see what this is all about, like I said, it is a racket. Okay, my babies, how many, very sad to say, sorry, how many coffins you sell, what kind of package you can sell somebody. That's not my idea of helping a fellow mankind who happens to be going, there we are, through an extremely sad, vulnerable and emotional stage in a lifetime. My little babies, do you see what I mean? In one breath saying, are you all right? Would you like a cup of tea or coffee? In the next breath, shoving, just politely speaking, figure of speech, shoving a coffin brochure under their nose and saying, would you like this coffin for $6,000? For example, my little babies, you know what I mean? I personally do not feel that's very sociable. Do you? So until the next time, if it's night time wherever you are, night night, sleep tight, watch your bed bugs, don't bark, because if they do, they're dynamite. Okay, Martin babies. And you just look after yourself. Or if it is morning or afternoon, time difference, you know what they're like with that. Okay, Martin babies. You must always remember that you say man-made time. Really, time is timeless. Okay, Martin babies, but we've all had to learn. You see what I mean? It's like we're all on flipping clock watching. Somebody's clock watching us, aren't they, Martin babies? Anyway, love you. Take care. Not going to go on anymore. Goodbye.